On March 17th of 2023, Uthden Troll Cup posted their event program on Facebook with a brand new tournament for Sunday, the special Repack sealed deck. This was the start of a magical journey that made the Uthden Troll Cup weekend very special for the 20 participants who eventually joined the tournament.
I think this is something that hadn't been done anywhere, so it's a totally new experience for people, and that's also what we try to give and provide.
At this point, we didn't really know what we were in for. All we knew was that something special was planned for this event, which was enough to draw me in. I was planning on playing the pre-modern nationals, but I can play pre-modern at home, and this was something completely different. On July 4th, the information landed. The official Facebook post from the Troll crew revealed what was gonna happen. The event was going to recreate the 90s feeling of getting your hands on your first cards, trading with everyone, fine-tuning your deck with the cards you found, and then battling it out with your friends. We also got our first glimpse of the packs we were going to be opening. Real-looking 4th edition starter bricks, boosters from Fallen Empire and Chronicles, and of course, some of the cards that were going to be in those packs. And with that, I was hooked. I knew that this is how I want to spend my weekend, and apparently so did many other players. But this was not the end of it. In late September, just 1 month before the event, Jon Dittert dropped the final bomb. He posted on the Uthden Troll Cup's Facebook page that we were going to be playing the way Richard Carfield intended. We were playing with ante. You could win cards from your opponent's decks or lose some of your own. Every player would get a jeweled bird in addition to their packs, just to help things out a little bit. You don't want to be losing your Shivan Dragon or Senge Vampire right away. With that information under our belt, we walked into the Troll's Den and got ready for an unforgettable weekend. And seeing that this was a special event, I knew I was going to be bringing my camera gear with me to record it all. I wanted to let everyone have a glimpse of what it was like to participate in this event and what it was all about. Now, this video will be a two-parter. This first part will be all about the event, including an interview with the man who came up with it, Richard Boonstra. The second will be my journey throughout the weekend. You get to see me crack open my packs, go through everything in them, see the trades I made and how my deck started to take form. And finally, you can watch all my tournament matches and see how the games played out and what kind of decks we were able to build. The second part will be up a little later, but if you're watching this in the future, the link will be in the description below. The player reception was good from the start. Everyone seemed interested in this, and the event drew people from all over the world. And by this I do mean all over. The tournament in Netherlands had players from as far as the US and Tasmania. I was able to have a word after the tournament with one of our long-distance travelers, Jon Dittert, and asked him about his experience and what drew him here.
Yeah, I was very excited to do this event when I saw it posted. Like, I can play regular old school anytime, you know, but to do a sealed experience is like nobody does that. And so when I saw that posted, like, that's one of the main reasons I wanted to come all the way from America just to do that, because it feels like when I was in middle school, like when I was 10 and had a starter deck and 3 boosters and was trading with friends, I feel like that's something I'm trying to like capture in playing old school again, but it's so hard when, you know, the cards are thousands of dollars, and it doesn't feel like that at all. So I was very excited to come to this, and yeah. I came through the door Thursday night to the meetup, and I was the first person to open any of the packs. So it was very exciting, and everybody gathered around, and we watched, and they sealed them up very good, just like they did back in the old days. And so we took 5 minutes to unwrap them, and then laid out all the cards, and it was just like being a kid again, like putting out your rares and waiting to see, you know, like which one, throwing the commons away and like fanning them out real slow. It was very exciting. I My rares were very bad, so that part was less exciting. I ended up with like Relic Bind and Xenic Poltergeist and something else that like couldn't be played. So at that point, I knew I probably was not going to win the event, but it was great. And then the whole weekend, just being able to trade with other people and seeing what they had, and everybody who did the event was super excited about it and very active, which made it even better. Yeah. Yet the kitchen table aspect of the tournament was also great because you got to play cards you would never play. Like I played Carnivorous Plant, and it was very good. And that's just not a card you ever get to play. It was also great because you didn't know what was in your opponent's deck. Unlike regular old school, you play 2 lands, and I know 58 of the cards in your deck probably. And here I had no idea. I got surprise Earthquaked multiple times, surprise Giant Growth. There was just no way to tell, and it was very cool. And every play was like a surprise and seemed fresh, so that was fantastic. And the games themselves felt a little bit like really, really good draft decks. It's like everybody had what I imagine the finals of this of the old school draft was, where everybody's deck is very good and put together, but not amazing. Nobody has 4 of everything, and there's a lot of variation in it. So the games themselves, they played like limited games, obviously, but with very good decks, and it was fun. It was just fun. Every game was different, and every game was exciting. And, that's what I came for. Yes, I did in fact come all the way from America to Europe just for this. In the spring, we were maybe my wife was going to come and we were going to do a longer thing, but it didn't work out with her work schedule. So I just came by myself, and going to try to come back next year. I think we'll make the same plan, and I wouldn't be surprised if her work is very busy. So I'll probably be back by myself next year. It's just good. I mean, I don't know. It's absurd to do that, but that makes it even more fun. It's a crazy thing to do. But so is playing old school in general. So it makes sense to me, and it was a blast. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
This event was all about the nostalgia. Playing old school can often feel like what we as modern players would have done back then, and how optimally you could have built decks. We have better access to all the cards now than we did back then. Back in 1994, there was no way for me to even buy a Black Lotus if I wanted one, let alone find someone who would trade one for me. But now I can go to just any online store and order basically as many as I want. The special sealed event captured the feeling of discovering new cards, seeing something in your friend's trade pile that would work well in your deck, and then trying to figure what you had that they would want. But it wasn't just all about those big hitters. A single bomb rare is nice, but you needed a solid commons and uncommons as well to make your deck work. One of the funny quirks was that even basic lands were up for trade. No cards could be added from outside, which meant that a basic swamp was one of the most sought after cards in the whole event. Mono black was a solid option with all the little beaters, and doing that meant that you needed all the swamps from your own packs as well as from 2 other people. On Sunday morning, you could have actually traded a swamp for a good uncommon of another color. And trading was everywhere. You could easily spot trades going on, and when 2 players were trading, others would gather around to see if there was anything for them. The trade and play badges we were handed out made it very easy to spot all the participants. But this was not the only way you could get cards. Players were able to complete quests, which would give them access to even better cards. The more quests you completed, the better level rewards you were able to get. Level 1 might have given you an immolation or a cyclopean mummy, but getting to level 3 would mean a lightning bolt or a hypnotic spectre. The quests included stuff like trading with enough people, winning a game with a specific type of a deck, winning a certain amount of opponents, and so on. Depending on what else you had planned for the weekend, completing quests could become difficult. I was able to only complete 2 quests before Sunday, as I played in the Repack draft on Friday and the main event on Saturday. But come Sunday, I was able to blow through 5 more quests and improve my deck just before the tournament. Then on Sunday, it would be the time to play the 5-round Swiss tournament. The players were able to complete quests even during the tournament, which meant you could get more better stuff. But anti also meant that you could lose some of your better cards. Many players were gracious when it came to losses, and often traded the lost cards right back to you, especially if you lost your basics. You were always given the option to get them back for small cost. No one wanted you to not be able to play your deck if you simply lost a game or two. People had come up with some amazing decks. Sure, black aggro with red splash seemed to be the most common deck, but it was far from the only one. Walls, especially those with any power, were amazing. I often struggled if my opponent could land a wall of heat or a carnivorous plant, simply because I did not have any good removal in my deck. We even got to see a little combo elements in there as well. Combining Funguso and Pestilence was a threat most players would come to dread, and dropping a lure and a venom on a little creature was a viable strategy. After 5 rounds, Jordan Boyle was crowned the winner with a clean 5-0 record. He also happened to be the first of the 3 players who made it to God tier rewards, which required you to complete 10 out of the 11 quests listed in the booklet. Here you can see the final form of Jordan's winning deck. He was able to start off strong with some good black and red cards, trading in some strong hitters, and eventually found more suitable cards as quest rewards. What Jordan got as his God tier reward was kept a secret during the event, as there was only 1 card there for each color. But you can see here that he picked another Fireball. Now, this is the type of deck you would see in a constructed tournament back in the day, so getting it done in a sealed event just tells you how strong it is. Jordan was very active during the event and was rewarded with strong picks. It just goes to show you, if you are going to be playing in an event like this, you better take some time to focus on the build part. From a player's point of view, this event was a huge success. There hasn't really been anything like it before, which is why we got so many enthusiastic players to join in. But as most of us just get to see what the player experience is, I wanted to know how the event was for the organizers. So I talked with the man behind the event and asked him about the Uthden Troll Cup weekend and the special sealed event itself.
Okay, well, I'm Richard Boonstra. I live here in the Leeuwarden, in home of the Uthden Troll Cup. So for me, the Uthden Troll Cup started with the very first one, where I saw a poster in a shop made by Ron, which I didn't know at the time. I was just a player. And I saw the poster and figured, hey, I know this guy from way back when, like 25 years ago, when we started playing out as young kids, probably. And then I contacted him, played the first 2 tournaments, and then around the 3rd tournament, I was just there to play. I saw Ron being chaotic and just trying to manage everything by himself, and then I just told him, hey, if you want, I can help. And then it grew, so I became part of the organization from Uthden Troll Cup number 3 until quite intensively now. So there's a bit of the history of how I became involved in the Uthden Troll Cup. The first Uthden Troll Cup was a very small event, and I only got to play the Repack. The Repack draft was already there, and that's always a big thing in Uthden Troll Cup, the limited. So I played the Repack, I think maybe with 10 players, and then we had a small main event, maybe 30 players. And now today, or yesterday, we had 134 players for old school. And on Friday we had 84 people playing old school repacks draft. That was amazing. So there's a big, steep, uphill development there. What it made special is that we try to go back to the beginning of Magic when you were a kid. You went to the store and you found Magic. That's the first couple of packs that you got. That's the big drive for me to recreate that moment. So you got a starter, 4 boosters, that's it, that's your collection. And you can play, trade and everything and build up to this tournament. So basically just go back to the beginning, not just any shield. There's a lot more to it. Yes, well, the inspiration for this event is that Limited is a very big component of the Uthden Troll Cup. Might be even the biggest for us as organizers. Main event is fun, but Limited is where our hearts is, because Uthden Troll Cup, one of the goals is to get new players in and get them a bit the bug, hit them with the bug of the old school. So I figured how to do that, to bring them back all the way, like this first special feeling, like I said. So it's just having your own pack and have an event running throughout the whole weekend. So you have your card pool just like that, you meet up with your friends, you trade some cards, you build a crappy deck, 4 colors, you don't know what it does, play cards you otherwise wouldn't play in Constructed, and then develop your card pool to something good. So that's the whole inspiration. It came from reliving the past, basically. So the card pool for this event, we always try to keep the cost low. So and we wanted to recreate it as best as possible. The price of sealed produce, like a sealed pack of 4th edition, is more than 100 euros, I believe. So that for players, for some players is no problem, but for a lot of players that we have, that is a problem. So we always want to make repacks. Then we looked, okay, what series could we use? And for me, 4th edition is when I started, so it's near to my heart. So I figured, okay, we started with 4th edition, and at the time he had Fallen Empires and Chronicles. So logically we came to this card pool. So we made the packs, and there was also a thing that develops because in the dynamics between me and Ron, I suggest something, then he always takes it a step further, and then we reach that step, and then he comes. No, he's a perfectionist, a true perfectionist, and it's fun because that helps us create a very good thing, tournament. So we found a random pack generator on the internet, which just randomly recreated contents of a pack. So you could put in 4th edition starter, you would get a list of the cards that would have been in a 4th edition starter. And we did it also for the Fallen Empires and the Chronicles. So basically we just used that to recreate the packs, and then it was hunting for the cards, and we tried to get the original cards. So only 4th edition, no other reprints, and only so that. And then we were thinking about, okay, how to create the best feeling. Luckily we have a good print shop where we work with, and we think, okay, for the 4th edition we really need to make starters. First we tried to get all the original starters, but they were also expensive. Like, people asked 20 euros for original 4th edition starter, empty, the empty box. And we said, no, that we can't do that. So then we just cut open an old box, went to the print shop and said, we need this. So yeah, I can make that on a big sheet, like an A4 sheet. And then it spent lots of evenings just cutting out the box and folding and preparing. And so when it was done, that would look beautiful. But then the next thing is how to get the right, we wanted the cards in the right order. We wanted to completely remake the pack. So we found out what the order was, and then just chuck in the cards in the box. And I showed it to Ron, and we were thinking, no, this is not good. Still not good enough. We need to wrap the cards. It used to be wrapped, so I did that. Came back all proud and happy, and Ron said, yeah, there's something missing. We need to wrap the starter as well. So we did that, and then we just got to a point where we said, yeah, this is the best experience for what we were looking for. So yeah, it was a lot of work, but the end result was so great. Watching all the players come and thinking, is this real? Is it not real? But just, you see people, when open it, they go back to the time when they were young and opened the stuff. So that was perfect. For me, then the event was already a success. Okay, yeah, for us there was a big question, how would people react? So we basically just put out the event. And at the time, I think before summer, we didn't even make the boosters yet, but just announced it, opened the registration, and all of a sudden there were like 15, 16 players wanting to play this event. And I think, okay, there's some people maybe gonna enjoy this. So now we need to start it up. And then I'm looking at the player list, and we got a very diverse people, players too. So like very experienced old school players like Jordan Boyle and Richard Stebbing, but also newer players. This is going to be a great mix. And then so we started and taking pictures of how we made the boosters and the packs and showed them on the internet and on Facebook, and then we got more reaction, and then the hype started growing, and people who were playing pre-modern, they said, no, let me switch to this event, it looks super. So then that gave us a bit of extra drive to make it as perfect as we could. So then we come to the event. The fun thing about this format is as soon as you entered, so if you came on Thursday, you would get your cards on Thursday. If you came on Friday, get your cards on Friday, and then from that on point you can start playing and building and trading. And so on Thursday, the first people got their hands on the product, and we put it somewhere on the table. Someone can, this real product, and there was a guy not even playing in the event. I don't know, it's Repack, but you see people, the eyes glistening, like, oh, this is something nice. And then handing out the packs, and then you see people opening it, and just some were a bit disappointed because 4th editions weren't that good. So we put all the rares in. You could get a Chaos Lace, but we tried to. Everybody had a bit of a playable card. And then, like the ultimate winner, he didn't have a good starter. He had a bit of crappy rares. But then he traded like a maniac. He went all for it, and so in the end he ended up with a great deck. And there was one more thing I'd like to add. We were talking about how to get the players to trade and play all weekend, because we were afraid that if you would just hand out the packs, we would just put them in a pocket or in a bag and then shoot on Sunday. And that's where Ron came up with, we need to have an extra way to let them earn cards. And at that time, Timmy started with his Chandler series on YouTube, on Timmy Talks. And in Chandler, what we played you get these quests, and that's how the quests started. So then we came up with the quest system, where people could complete quests all during the weekend and earn extra cards. A quest would be like trade with 8 other participants, trade for a play set of commons, win a game with a single colored deck, win a game with a 4-color deck. So we had 11 quests. And then we had cards you could earn. So if you completed 5 quests, or 1 to 5 quests, you would get a level 1 card. Every time you complete a quest, you come to the organization, you can choose a level 1 card. So if you complete 6, 7, then you get a level 2 card. And then 8, 9, level 3, and then we had this God level for people who completed 10 of the 11 quests. So there was 5 of the best cards we could think of. And we actually had 3 people reaching this, we call God level of trading and getting the cards. I never expected that to happen. That was only because people were so enthusiastic that they just went full on trading and gaming, and for me that was the best thing to see, that actually happened. So for us as a tournament organizer, and yesterday with this huge show up of 134 players playing Swedish old school in the main event, we as organizers didn't have a lot of time to walk around. But the best thing was that if anyone would have completed the quest, they had to come to our table and get the card. So I think what really made this event was the quest system. It has something to do with people wanting to level up or reach a higher goal, and if that really made people trade, and there were some like very frenzied. So they were watching. If anybody got his card open there, we players coming. Yeah, you got your cards, and let me show, and want to trade. And there were quite some sharks in the water there, but that really made the event, and that's how I noticed people doing this, because they came to the table to get their next quest card, and their eyes would shine. Let me see, and then they would go through the cards and they would find a terror or a dark ritual and they would be all happy, and it was so much fun. That really helped this event. So yeah. The future of this event, I think it's you need to look to the whole event, like the Uthden Troll Cup as a whole. So, for us, what we do as TOs, we're not just doing the main event like Swedish Old School. It's very important to us, but it's not the only thing. What we do try to recreate is a magic festival where you have a weekend playing with friends, just play cards. So it's all the events together is what make for us Uthden Troll Cup. The Uthden Troll Cup. Sometimes you see it as it's the Saturday, the main event. The winner gets the troll. No, for us it's everything. So for the Repack draft on Friday and for Old School, and the Repack draft on Saturday, for us are just as important. And we like this, as Ron and me are both very much into the limited side as a format. So we will every year try to come up with good formats for the limited. This was a success. We'll see if we can repeat it. I think this is something that hadn't been done anywhere, so it's a totally new experience for people, and that's also what we try to give and provide. We'll see if it's something for next year. Maybe we come up with maybe an adaptation or something new, but limited. And these kind of special events is something that we will continue doing. To end it, so what made for us the whole event special, it's called a special event, is the player reaction. And the reaction up front of people reacting to the post we made on internet. And then I must say you came there also and you said, okay, I love this so much. I'm going to do a whole stream about it, and I just like to do an interview. So what we never expected, not only for this event but in total, is the reaction we get from players way before the tournament starts. That is such a beautiful thing for us. So we feed on that. So and that makes me and Ron and Henk and Jelmer makes us do our best and spend all the time we do to create this nice weekend. So I'd like to thank you, Ville, for putting also this amount of effort in promoting this special event for us and the Troll Cup as a whole. I believe you are one of our guests who, yeah, you're very welcome here, very welcome. You're invited for next year as well, so we hope to see you there again. Thank you.